Right. Engine spare part. Time to send the crank off. The balance shaft might need to replace because it looks like it's been beat to death in the past. I'm going to look over it and decide what to do. If there's a cheap second-hand one, might be worth going for that. But I'm going to send the crank off to PJME, getting to put a new rod on it. These bearings are, well, that one's got a lot of drag and that one's quite noisy. So get some new bearings ordered, get everything ordered, power valves, piston, all the little bits and bobs need, and then get it back together. Don't know how well this will come out, but that's one noisy bearing. And the other one, this one, you have to really push it, and it's so crunchy. But yeah. Just to show you how noisy it was. It might not pick it up, but it's really hot at the minute. Doesn't sound really loud, but you know, once you've got some pressure behind it, it definitely will be. I expect the other one to be noisier, but at least new one's in, new seal. So yeah, happy days. So I've just started to line up the gearbox, test all the gears work. Both the bearings are in. I'm just going to put these new seals on. So crankshaft seal there, or gearbox side. Sprocket seal, gear change select, or gear selector seal. So I'm just going to pop these out, put that in, and then we'll get the crank and then mate the two halves together. That's that seal in on the crankshaft side, or gearbox side. New output shaft one and gear selector one. So now I'm going to look to get the crank. I'm going to put some sealant on the casing and get the two halves put back together. Alright, that's the two halves together. I'm going to take a small break and then going to focus on building this side up, then the other side, which there isn't much, and then start assembling the top end and then get it into the frame. I'm waiting for a couple of little bits to turn up. But yeah, hopefully for the most part it'd be in the bike later. I'm going to get the new piston on, oil up this bearing, brand new frost washers because it didn't have any. And then I might be able to put the top end on as well. Need to give this a bit of a clear up actually. Is that? Yeah, give that a little clear up. And then yeah, top end on, and then it's kind of protected from dirt and crap getting in there. So I've actually got a tub of Castrol R which isn't compatible with anything I'm using, but it'll be fine for getting these bearings primed. Right, that's the piston on. I'm just going to give the rings a bit of a lube up. Then I'm going to put the base gasket on and then the cylinder. So, engine's in. I'm going to replace the oil lines. I've even got the little hose clamps. So I'm going to do that and then bleed it up. I'll show you when I bleed it. Cool, so I've got a screwdriver holding this open. I'm just going to crack this bleed screw. Make sure we get some fluid coming out. Loads of bubbles. Don't know if you can see that. Wait for a steady flow. Yep, cool. And now what I'm going to do, no spark plug in it, the head's not really bolted down. I'm just going to have this held open, run the starter until this pipe's full, and so is the other one. Okay, so engine and engine mounts are all in. I've put the power valves in. I'm waiting for 2 new studs. One of them you can get, the other one you can't, but you can use both. One's just a bit longer than the other. It's not the end of the world. So I'm waiting for them to arrive. Got the new Cougar power valves in there. That's the closed position. Let me show it. Hang on. I'm just going to earth it out. You can see it fully move. And the valves moving in the head or in the cylinder. So let's just check that that's the fully open. Yeah. Just going to get the head gasket on. And then set up the oil pump, and then we put the exhaust on, and I want to see if it starts. Oh no, I need to put the rad on and then see if it starts. So 20 minutes from now I reckon we'll know what the situation is. Alright, exhaust is on. On the button. She sounds so much better with new bearings. Well, everything's new. I need to get the rad on. I think the exhaust might be leaking a little bit of air, but doesn't exhaust gases. But what doesn't help is it comes out the breather anyway, and that should be on a tube that goes to the back. So I need to find something for there because I don't think it had anything. So we're nearly there. The ultimate test is getting some coolant in it and making sure it stays in there. And it's not leaking in there or leaking here. So yeah, that's the next job. Get the coolant system on, and then the neutral switch. And then when I'm done with it, box it up and give it a clean, and then let the owner have it back. Obviously have to do a test ride, so we'll have that at the end. But yeah, so close to being done. So just warming it up, just put a couple of pieces on. a couple of heat cycles, checking for leaks. I think there's a little slight weep on the generator side, so I'll whip those nuts up. But overall, it idles really well. It sounds okay. Coolant circulating. Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do, let it cool down, finish for tonight, tighten all the nuts and bolts up, check in the morning to see if I've got any leaks, and then do a couple more heat cycles, and then hopefully in that time the correct studs for here will have arrived. I need to torque up that bolt, give it a clean, take it for a test ride. Hopefully the owner can have it back and maybe get a ride or two before it gets too cold. Or he might just decide to sell it. Who knows? But yeah.
Right, we are going for a test ride before we hopefully call this bike done. Now, the jisting hasn't been adjusted since I last had it, so I'm not expecting it to run perfect and be a bit flat on the top end. I think it wants down jet, and I think it's running rich. Let's give it a test ride and see how it goes.